Hi, I'm Emily from Bob's Coins and Jewelry. Today I wanted to talk about something that we do pretty much every week, and that is pearl and bead restringing. Believe it or not, restringing has become a little bit of a hard to find trade. This is a service that we actually still provide. I believe we're one of the only people in the area that do pearl restringing in-house. With your nicer strands of pearls, they are actually knotted individually, so in between every single pearl is a knot that is hand tied. It is becoming harder and harder to find people that do them because it takes hours to go and individually knot every single pearl and make sure it's the right amount of tightness and coil. This customer's nice strand of pearls, it has gold beads on it and a gold clasp, has broken right in the center. Not only that, but she has quite a bit of friction in between each of these strands. So these knots need to be very tight against the pearls so that they don't wiggle. The more wiggle, the more it frays the silk. So what I'm gonna do here is actually cut every single knot, which takes quite a while. So I'll go ahead and get started while I'm talking to you. We also knot these on silk because it is one of the more durable threads. It doesn't fray as easily, it doesn't rip as easily, but it can stretch over time. And so again, that friction can cause it to fray after years and years of wear. This strand is 38 inches. Most of your traditional pearl strands are 18 to 20 inches, so this is double that. It's gonna take a few hours, without a doubt. Okay, I've cut up to the first gold bead so I can show you how we start this process. We always double our strands if we can. On your nicer strands of pearls like this set, basically that means that you don't have just a single cord to knot and over time stretch. You actually have it doubled throughout your entire set of pearls. So I'm gonna go through and measure with my silk. Make sure I have plenty of thread here. That's our first. I'm gonna go through 4 times because when we tie the knots, it takes about half of the thread. Now I use this gold French wire. I have it in both colors, so if you have silver, I can also do silver. Okay, have my 2 ends even, just gonna pull this to the very center. So this is where I'm doing all of my work. The pearls are gonna sit at the very end of this. So it being such a long strand, you see I have a lot of thread here. But basically, I'm gonna take my first pearl and thread it through this needle, or thread the needle through it. Go all the way to the end. And we need to connect it to our clasp. Go back to the opposite end. Okay. This French wire protects the silk through the clasp. So basically it creates a little border around the thread where I'm gonna loop it through the end of the clasp. Here's our clasp. Let me actually cut a little excess off of here. Yeah. So now I'm gonna thread the clasp on. And then we're gonna go back through the pearl so that we have the clasp end of this started basically. And then we can do all the knots necessary before we get to the other end. You can see the string is extremely long. The strand is long, and basically whenever we tie all of the knots, it pretty much cuts your thread in half. So every knot takes about as much thread as it would take to string a pearl. So we double the thread through the strand. So you have these 2 threads inside of your pearls for extra durability, but then I have all of this excess so that whenever I'm knotting it, it's not getting so short and short and short. By the end of it, I only have about this much thread. I can tie my first knot. Our clasp and French wire is through the first pearl. So I'm going to tie our first knot. Because this is going to be the end knot, I have to cut all of this excess off. So I don't want that excess to work its way back through the knot. The end two knots are typically the only ones that have glue on them, and it's so they don't back themselves out. We're going to cut the excess. This is my working point. So every single knot or every single pearl that I strand on is going to bump up to this and then be knotted. So I'll show you how that goes. Go back to our needle on the opposite end. Put a pearl on. Work it all the way through. Make it tight. And then do our knot. So when I'm making these knots and I'm putting these pearls on the strand, I am making sure that there is no gapping. So basically the pearl is not able to wiggle back and forth on the strand. If you go too tight, then there's so much tension in the strand that you get like a twisted coil. So we're gonna try to avoid that. You want a little bit of coil so that your pearls can relax. However, you don't want it to be so tight that they never relax to the point where the coil is gone. So here's the coil that I was mentioning. Beads are very heavy, especially real pearls. So we put enough tension in each knot to make sure that when these do inevitably get weighed down, that this string will stretch or the knots will just tighten between them so that once they do loosen, there's no wiggle on them. You can see that compared to when this wore out over the years, where you can slide these beads back and forth. And this is what causes it to break. I'm not gonna keep you here for hours watching me restrand this necklace, so I do actually have a completed version of a restring that we did recently. These are jade beads. These are higher end jade, so we have restrung them on black silk just to blend in with the color better. I could also do it on white, but it would be more noticeable. So this is what I also meant by the coil. These have not been picked up yet. I'm gonna hang them for a few days, but you can see that coil starts to relax over time. It's very, very slight in this, and the longer that I hang them, the more this strand will relax and sit very straight. But I wanna make sure whenever it does relax, we don't have all of that movement on the beads. If you do have a strand that has broken and you need it repaired, we can do that in-house. Your pearls never have to leave our facility. If you have costume beads that you need restrung, if you have a stretchy bracelet that's sentimental that someone made for you and it broke and you don't know who to give it to, we can do all of that. So if you have any beading issues, just come in and see us and we'd be happy to help you out.